Innovations, and I'm Tamara Hooks, and I'm going to take you shopping throughout this hour. We're going to start off, though, when it comes to Healthy Innovations, we start off with really needing and it being important to know what's going on the inside. A lot of times when we're not feeling well, we reach for a thermometer, right? But if you haven't one of those old school thermometers that you have to put in your mouth, those can be very difficult to read. What Veridian did was come up with a touch-free thermometer. Now, we've offered these in the past and they've been very popular, but this one is brand new and we're gonna show you some of the newer features. But for this day only, it's $27.95. Normally, our regular HSN price is closer to $50 on this. So it really makes a big deal that it is $27.95. The the AAA, batteries are included with this. So right out of the box, you're ready to go. And it's touch-free, which means you don't have to put it in anybody's mouth. You don't even have to touch the person in order to get your temperature reading. Now, it comes to you in your choice of 3 different colors. We've got it for you in pink, we have blue, and we have white. Again, the batteries are included, and we have Matthew Peters, who's a certified registered nurse, joining us to give us all the details. And Matthew, it's because of you that I actually bought one of these.
Really?
Yeah, because you know, when you show how easy it is to use, you're actually more likely to take your temperature.
There are many more ways of taking temperature that are far more unpleasant than by mouth, so right. We won't talk about that, but I love this unit from Veridian because it's clinically accurate. I say that all the time because it's so important that you have accurate readings, but this is something that, even though this was the worst flu season we've had in, what, 40 years? Even if you're not sick right now, it doesn't matter. You need one of these in your home. You need this for everyday use, and you're gonna use it year-round, because you saw on TV a little earlier, a couple seconds ago, she was taking the temperature of her child's or her bath water, okay? Also, she's taking the temperature of her sick child on the couch, because this also has a silent mode. So you can see this, if somebody falls asleep, the last thing you wanna do is wake them up with a beep. So this does have a silent mode. Now, this is infrared technology, and what does that mean? It means that you can take your temperature or a temperature of a sick loved one without touching the skin or making contact. So not only you're gonna be able to take the temperature of surfaces like the bath water right here, which is so awesome to be able to do things like that. I have a couple of samples here. I'll show you how that works in action. But first, let's just talk about it. We have a few simple buttons on here. All we have is, you're gonna have this big LED display. So I'm gonna put this on right now just so you can see. And you'll hear a beep when I turn it on, and if I get the right button there. So you heard the beep. Now, I have a mode button that I can go through and cycle through the object mode, and then I can go again to silent person mode, then I can go to the silent object mode and back to normal. So I'm gonna take 1 second here and take your temperature.
Okay.
Okay, because you volunteered. Okay, right there. Now take a look at this. We have a reading in about 1 second. That's all it is, 96.8 degrees. So what I'm gonna do right now is, if I can look around here, I'm gonna put this in object mode, and I wanna make sure it's here. And now you see here, I'm neither thirsty or a baby, but here's one thing you don't want to mess up the temperature on is baby formula.
Right.
So first I'm gonna take the temperature of my cold water beverage, and right here I have a reading, 56 degrees. All right, now look at the temperature variation as I take the temperature of the baby formula, and you notice just a half an inch or so away from the bottle, 119 degrees. That's scorching hot. It's way too hot to give to your child, obviously, but my point is, look at the variation in temperature degree that you get on this unit. You get that clinically accurate and such a wide variation. If I wasn't showing you at home right now, just so you could see the differences in temperature, I can actually take the temperature of these two things right back to back, in about a second.
Okay.
And I'm gonna get the same thing. So only about a second, I can take a 50-something degree reading and then a 117 degree reading just like that.
And you saw how simple that was to use. It's clinically accurate temperature taking. So you don't have to wonder, I wonder if that's off. Because when you have a fever, let's say, you know, a difference between a degree can make a big difference in the way that you feel and the action that you would then need to take. I think every parent with young kids needs this. I use this for my baby, for her temperature. I use it for her bath water. I use it for, she started swimming, so I use it for the pool water to see what the pool feels like before I put her in it. I use this all the time, and it's because it's simple. You can't get it wrong. You can take people or you can take objects. And because you've got that night mode, you don't have to worry about the beeps or the sounds waking anybody up. It really is simple, and I think every household should have a thermometer. If you don't have one, or you've got one of those old ones that you have to shake and then put in the tongue and look for, I don't know how long it would need to sit under the tongue, now you don't even need to question. You press a button, it tells you what you need to know, and it even remembers your temperatures, right?
Up to 30 readings in memory. So as Jen's taking her temperature right now over and over again, as she loves to do, she's not touching her forehead because it's that infrared technology. So only about a ½ an inch away from the skin on her forehead, she can get that instant, clinically accurate reading. And if you're starting to feel ill or under the weather, then the last thing you want to do is question, am I coming down with something? Do I have something to worry about?
Right.
This is going to tip you off because it's going to have a fever indicator light. It's also going to light up orange if it's just a little bit in between or you're approaching the fever zone. That's so right. what I'll do is...
And you know what, that's a lot better than when I was a kid and you didn't feel good and your mom put her hand on. It's like, what can you feel,
And you can't fake it either. If they want to get out of school, they can't fake it by putting the thermometer under the lamp.
That's true.
So I'm going to kind of cycle through the memory function here. So you see, I want to show, first of all, that nice large LCD display, but also you see there's a green, that means normal.
Okay.
Now as I cycle through, I believe there's a yellow light, so that means I'm a little higher than normal. Remember, 98.6 is what they tell us is normal, but everybody runs a little bit differently.
Right.
So there's a range of 2 or 3 degrees, and there's the red fever indicator light. So if you're in the dark, like you saw her taking the temperature of the child, and you get that light up red, you know instantly what you're up against. You know that you're approaching a fever, and you know you want to keep an eye on it. So you have the clinically accurate reading. It's nice and safe. You're in the comfort of your own home. 1 second readout, and no other attachments or anything to put on this, like you said, Tamara.
Yeah.
No applicators to purchase.
Right.
You have the auto shut off with the battery, so you don't have to worry about the conservation of that battery power. They've really thought about everything, and I'll mention they did have a slightly older version of this thermometer from Veridian, and this is the brand new model with that nice new screen and those 3 indicators, the green, the yellow, and the red. So it really takes the guesswork out of it for you.
That's very key as well, because a lot of times we only start to take our temperature when we start to feel bad. And we're not exactly sure for us what our normal is versus when it's a little bit too high. So with this though, you can take it just very easily in 1 second and know what your normal temperature is, so that when it gets a little bit high for you, or you see it kind of creeping up, you're more conscious of the action that you need to take. Also, I love that there are AAA batteries that come included, 2 AAA batteries. But when it's time for you to change the battery, I love an easy battery. I love one that you don't have to go to the battery store and ask them do you have CRX32? No. AAA battery when the battery starts to get low, and it even has a low battery indicator, so you'll know when it's time to change that battery. It's just simple. A lot of you are buying it in blue. We also have it in pink, and we have it in white. They all work exactly the same. No matter which color you get, this is one of those items that every household just flat out needs to have. And because you have 3 flex for today only, you can get this home for $9.32. One thing I don't know if we mentioned, Fahrenheit and also Celsius.
It's going to be able to switch back from Fahrenheit and Celsius. So if you're in kind of the Celsius world, you can get your readings that way too. What I want to mention though, as a registered nurse, is this has been a very nasty cold and flu season, and if you've been through it, you know that. What I want to avoid for you, as your nurse here on HSN, is from buying the products with the applicators and things like that, that you're going to put in the medicine cabinet and forget about, or lose the applicator applicators, then you're gonna go out and buy a new thermometer, or you're dangerous with the mercury and you're shaking that, and if it breaks, it can be a real hazard. With this, you don't have to worry about it. It has that infrared technology, so right there, you're gonna be able to get that clinically accurate reading in just about a second. And when I put this on here, let's show, again, Tamara, what is your temperature right this second? I didn't even touch her skin, and we have 97 degrees.
And I did mine too.
And what is it?
97 degrees.
There you go. So again, we're talking about clinical accuracy, and you need to know your vital signs and your temperature because this is going to change all the time. So just because you might be slightly feverish now, it can get worse and worse and worse, and you want to avoid kind of being in the dark about it. And with the 30 readings in the memory bank, you can bring that to your healthcare provider, and if there's something going on, they can possibly treat you for it.
That's very true. And you've got, like you said, you've got more information. It's not just I feel bad. It's this was my temperature at noon, this was my temperature at 5 o'clock, and then at 9 p.m. you can see how it's changed because it's so quick and easy for you to use. And because you don't have to put it in your mouth or anywhere else, it stays sanitary. So you only need one. You only need one. Well, it's true, right?
Oh, it's absolutely true.
You only need one per household. And it's easy for you to share and easy for you to have with you. It weighs nothing. It's smaller than your remote control, but more important than your remote control. More important than most of our other electronic devices in our home, because this is the one that tells us what's really going on, not what we think is going on. And that's a big deal. And, the fact that it gives you the green light, yellow light, red light, I love that improvement there.
That's what I really like about Veridian products in general, is they kind of take that guesswork. You don't need medical knowledge. I'm going to do this demonstration again because it's important for you to see in action. I can go ahead and take my own temperature here, and we'll get our readouts. So what do we have here? We have 98.4. So I am quote unquote normal. So if I switch the mode here, I'm gonna go right to object mode and go down, and I can take the temperature of my baby formula, 105 degrees. And I know we're a little short on time, but right here, 57.5 degrees for the water. So just like that, I can take my temperature and use it around the house for other things. It's a must-have for the house and as a registered nurse for your health in general.
Absolutely. And I encourage you, remember, this is a this day only price. Normally it's almost $50. So take advantage of the price and the 3 Flex for today only. Now,